cranium, you see that it's not fused like an adult's cranium. When we look at an adult's cranium, just having to keep my heads around, you have all these sutures. Everything is compressed and contracted. So during these first 2 years of life, all these little soft spots that you see, or what people are going to call fontanelles, stay open. And the idea for them, the reason they stay open is because the brain has got to grow twice its size, 2.5 to 3 times its size in those first 2 years. And when I mean grow, it's not just size, it's development pathways. There are two types of matter, gray and white matter in the brain. The white matter is kind of the roadways. The gray matter is what we call the neurons, is the stuff that makes the brain function, basically, and through those pathways. So 80 to 90% of those pathways are laid down in the first 2 years of life. The third thing that happens in those 2 years of life is the body or the brain nerves make synapses, connections to each other. And the highest peak potential of when they make those connections is at 8 months postnatal. So you're having a brain that's growing, taking in information at the most rapid pace it ever will in your entire life, and you're laying the foundation. I guess the best way to describe it is if you were building a city and you wanted to put in the roadways and you put in the power grids and you put in the infrastructure and you put in the buildings for people to live, and you built that, and then you put people in it, and you realize that those people would then start to propagate. And so if you put in 250,000 people, 5 years down the road you might have 1.2 million people. You have to put in an infrastructure to support that. Well, the brain is the same way. We start at baseline neurology. That's why we talk so much about developmental milestones and primal reflexes, because those are your baseline neurologies. Those are your survival mechanisms. And as they get laid down, and as you start to increase those survival mechanisms, use more and more and more of your brain. So the better ability of your brain to adapt to using more of it